Hey everyone, welcome back to the SunySide. I'm Sonny, and this video right here is an astrological and tarot reading for Liz Truss, the now former, I think, Prime Minister of England or the United Kingdom. I'm not sure how it works over there. Let's just say the Prime Minister of England, Liz Truss, just resigned, and one of my SunySiders, SueJ, who lives over there, a big supporter of the SunySide for a long time now. She asked me to have a look at her chart, her astrological Liz's chart, and see what's going on with her. So here we go. For those who don't know, I'm Sonny. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the SunySide. Hope everyone's having a super amazing day. And let's get down to the action. So for those who don't know, I do teach astrology. I'm a professional astrologer. I used to write horoscopes for the newspapers in Canada, whatever. All right, let's get down to it. A lot of live streams on the channel if you're interested in that kind of stuff, where I read your astrology charts and I read your tarot. We'll do that in a sec. Here we go. So what's the deal with Liz? So Liz is on the inside, and these are the transits for October 20th, right? Oops. On the outside, this is when she resigned. This is what I have for her birthday. I've set her ascendant at rising, at the sunrise. You guys can see it right there. Her ascendant is rising. But I have her, because I don't have her birth time. So I have her birthday is July 26, 1975, and I set it at 5:15 a.m. in Oxford, UK. That's going to put, obviously, it's going to put her sun on the horizon right here. But on top of that, it's going to make her moon in Pisces that day. And more than likely, her moon is in Pisces, right? It could be anywhere from back here a little bit, but more than likely, it's in Pisces somewhere, depending on what time of day she was born. But this is pretty early. All right, so just a quick little rundown of her natal chart before we get to the transits. As you guys can see, there are a lot of extra points on my charts here because, well, like I teach this stuff and I look for, doing the type of astrology I do, where I do a lot of predictive astrology. I write horoscopes for you guys. I help out with sports gambling, kind of, help people with their sports picks, sports gambling, a lot of prediction stuff here. So there are extra points on my charts here. Whatever. Okay, man. So Liz is a Leo. So there we go. Loud and proud. Look at me, Leo. So that's the deal. She's probably loud and proud. But she has a very strong nurturing side to her as well. Although she is a Leo, she's a very early Leo. So she would be absorbed. Imagine a Cancer, like a very nurturing person, but she's absorbing all of this Leo energy. Or you can imagine that she's a Leo, a loud and proud Leo who always wants to look good and be the center of attention. But, she's a very nurturing kind of Leo, so to speak. In addition to that, her Mercury and her Saturn are right here, right behind the sun there. So she probably gets blamed for a lot of things that she didn't do. She probably gossips a lot. She does a lot of work behind the scenes. People probably talk about her a lot behind the scenes. And once again, she probably gets blamed for things she didn't do. Her movement could have been restricted at one point in her life. Like oftentimes when this particular aspect is combined with a couple other things, it might indicate jail time, although I don't think she went to jail. But movement restricted, right? Like a private school or a boarding school kind of thing with a lot of rules. Anyways, whatever. So she's obviously probably very, very smart. Okay, like very smart. And but she might be very cautious with her words, right? Because there's a conjunction there. So very smart. She can be very serious, very methodical, and she probably has a tremendous amount of discipline, right? Her Mars is in Taurus. It's a tremendous amount of discipline, and her her Mercury is conjunct her Saturn, right? Restricting a lot of stuff there, a lot of movement and a lot of communication. Down here, Venus is in Virgo here, so she's probably super critical, super analytical, right? Critical, analytical, she's South Node up here in Taurus. She probably takes her time. She's probably extremely stubborn, extremely possessive, probably has very conservative values. A couple other things in the chart, just as we're going to quickly run down this and get to the crazy stuff that happened. Probably had problems at home growing up. Probably parents were Parents probably got divorced. Maybe one of them died when she was young. It does lead to an unusual living arrangement when she was younger. So maybe, maybe something is going on here. Actually, looking at the chart the way it is, it doesn't line up. It doesn't actually line up the way it looks, right? Because I put the outer chart on the outside, it's changing everything on the inside. So it's not exactly the way it looks. So I'm going to amend some of this stuff I'm saying. Now that I'm looking at it a little closer, I do think that her parents got divorced. I think she might have had the death of one of her brothers or sisters or close friends when she was younger. Maybe, maybe not. Because again, I don't have the birth time, and this chart doesn't really line up that well. But maybe a problem with one of the brothers and sisters, unusual kind of situation, maybe a bad car accident at maybe not her, but brother or sister, whatever. This reading is getting all messed up. Whatever. Problem at home, whatever. Unusual kind of situation. Maybe she went to a boarding school. I don't know. All right, there's always going to be some kind of stress action happening with children, like she's going to put a lot of energy into defending children, or maybe she's going to have, but something is not necessarily going to work out. She's always going to default back to going out, helping the children, being very creative, being very out there, but it's always going to have a problem with it. All right, the moon is probably in Pisces, which is pretty good scene for her, actually. She's going to come across as very healing, very nurturing. Guys, I don't really see too much super duper drama or crazy in her chart individually, like just alone as her chart. It's not the most remarkable chart in the world, to be honest with you guys. Like, seriously. However, she did accomplish something pretty great. I do believe she's able to team up. And I think when she teams up, she's very successful. And I think that's how her chart goes. I think that's what I think. I think she attached it to another chart. And when she attaches it to other charts, she becomes very successful. Then again, she really does like nurturing and helping other people. And she very much likes being the center of attention. She's extremely methodical, right? Extremely, extremely methodical and extremely patient. All right, there we go. That's a quick little rundown on her chart right there. Now let's take a quick peek and check out what's going on with what happened on that particular day. All right, so here we go. On the 20th, you can see there's some clear stuff that's happening. Now, on this day, we have Uranus, which is sudden and unexpected. And you're going to see sudden and unexpected come up to play a couple of times in this reading here. So she had Uranus, which is sudden and unexpected, right on top of her Mars. And that is going to create a situation where someone is going to do, right? Mars, your active energy. They're going to do something a little sudden and unexpected and a little bit, hey man, what are you doing? And so that is definitely in play. So you can definitely expect something unexpected from her. Now, if we go to this chart, when we go back to when she really was elected, you'll see something pretty interesting. We're going to go back to that section. So she was, I don't know that she was elected, but she was appointed or installed on the 6th of September, I believe. And the 6th is pretty good. In the 6th, we have the North Node. So here are the things to watch out for. So let me just show you a picture. And so the day, the 6th, that's when she became prime minister. But you don't just born and become prime minister. There's a lead up towards it. You have to be on the radar. People have to make decisions. And there's a lot of stuff that happens. And so when you go back a little bit more, let's move it back a little bit more. You can see that approaching that particular day, we had, and let's just stop it, back in July, when all hell was going down, we had Uranus was making a pass to that Mars again, right? So she was doing something in the early summer, late spring, which was a little bit unexpected, a little bit unusual, and she was pushing for something at that time period. Here, we'll just go back a little bit further, and I'll be a little bit more accurate for you guys. So right around the end of June, Uranus was at 17 degrees. Mars was at 17 degrees here. So right around that time period, 25th of June, she was involved in some kind of sneaky shenanigans actions, right? Actually, if we want to go back a little further, or this is going to go back a little way, like if we went, it's moving a little slow here, but if we went back, say, well, hold on, let's just speed it up and hold on, and I'll tell you. She just went through a really serious situation. So here we go. Back in February, right? She went, these nodes right here. So back in February, or at the beginning of this year, Liz went through a situation. We may not know about it, but she definitely went through a life-changing situation that everybody goes through at a certain time in their life. So that is not too weird. It's the same kind of thing that I look at when I'm doing sports picks, or who's going to win the election, or who's going to win a competition. You have to see, is this normal for someone to go through at her age, versus how someone is reacting to the pressure. And outside, an unusual astrological or an unusual event happening, which is going to affect the person outside of just regular life changes. Not to say that the life change is easy for anyone. Anyways, Liz, at the time, this year, 2022, like I guess 2021, leading up to 2020 through 2022, Liz is going through a big life change. Now, in this situation, one of her kids may have become sick. Maybe one of her kids got married. Big, a change in group, change in crowd. She herself may have been very sick at the beginning of the year. And whatever, she's pulling out of it now. So good luck. All right, so that's a major heads up. And I'll circle it when I get back around to it. So as we're moving forward, okay, so now we're speeding through May, June, July. When did I say? What did I just say? Well, whatever I just said. Whatever I just said, whether I misspoke or not, the date is up here for you guys to check out. So we're moving forward now. I thought I said June, but I'm not sure what it says there. All right, let's go back to it now. So right around now, so let's back it up just a little bit more. So right around this time, and let's do this again. So back in August, so right around August 12th, okay, guys, August 12th, she was going through it. So the thing I was talking about before were these two guys right here lining up. And that, whenever that happens, and that happens to everybody at a certain age in their life. It's not like that's not the craziest thing. It's just to know she was going through a life change at the time. This year she's going through a life change, and she might get sick. Now, at this time, once again, in August, this North Node, which is this destiny kind of thing that's happening, a lot of people think about it as destiny, but what it really is, it's adds a lot of positive, albeit not necessarily lasting energy to this particular part of the chart. Now, you can see, so this is, all right, so this is black, but it's going to just, okay. So you can see this particular planet right there, right as it's approaching, right? It's as it's approaching, as we're approaching, August 12th, right around the August time period, that's a lot of energy going into that part of her chart. And that's really putting a lot of emphasis on her Mars, and it's really bringing a lot of attention to her. And she's probably coming across as a very Taurus-y, it's in Taurus, very Taurus, very stable, very can-do, very responsible, very I'm going to do this, I'm going to have the drive and determination to push through kind of energy. She also might come across as very nurturing, very fun, playful, and it may be a fresh breath of what's going on, but not necessarily fresh breath from the outside, but like, window dressing. She's like a female versus a male. Like, what do you like? It's window dressing. Okay, on the outside, it looks different. Now, here's where things get really interesting in the chart. So you guys can see that. So I'm just going to do a north node thing before we move on. Now the north node tends to blow up, like enhance, very popular, whatever it is that it comes into contact with. And in this chart, it's coming into contact with her Mars. And so that's energy. That's putting a lot of energy. And it's, although we don't have her birth time, I'm finding the houses from degrees from the sun. If you want to know more about degrees from the sun and how it relates to setting up your chart, then tune into one of the live streams or maybe sign up to take one of my classes. All right, here we go. Now, generally, when you're dealing with a north node transit, and that's what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with north node and we're dealing with Uranus happening here. There are some other things in play, obviously, but this is what I'm just looking at right here to tell you guys in this short little video, which is taking like 20 minutes now. But if you want a professional reading, this is what happens. So here we go. So the Mars, so her Mars, like all this energy is happening right here, very socially for her. Now, it's actually just like this. I mentioned earlier, we're saying it's about family, but it actually pushes this way. And I said, maybe car accident, maybe one of her brothers died in a car accident younger, or, a close friend died in a car accident or something. Like maybe something like that. This here is, and although I've been saying this is 11th house kind of stuff or distance from the sun, it's actually not. It looks like it, and it looks like it's going to tweak it back like that. But the nature of this is it actually puts it right here at the top. What we're looking at is a little bit deceptive. And to sort things out, as I'm looking at this chart, I'm looking at a combination of the number and the sign right there. The number and the sign to sort it out, to sort out these degrees. But because by eye, it's not that easy to see on this particular chart. All right, just a heads up on that. Next, when you're dealing with a north node kind of event here, it tends to work like this. Things tend to become extremely accelerated and awesome possum. They say if the north node is like in your 11th house or your 12th house, you should become really famous, which she did. But then it actually has the potential to be quite infamous. So, oh, look at this, just a little bit more. Mars at this part of the chart says there's a potential to run away from home. Just as a little aside. I don't know if she tried to run away from home as a kid. I'm guessing she went to a private school. I don't know. And so, but that's the deal. And her movement was definitely restricted and people blame her for everything. All right, next. And so next. So they tend to really inflate this north node stuff, and then it tends to decline rapidly. So that's the problem with north nodes transiting or north node in that part of the chart. That's just what happens. And that just seems to be what she's going through right now. And it's just a transit. Everybody goes through it. And that's just what she's going through. Now, so everybody cool? So we're seeing how it's not just the day. It's not just the day she decided to resign. You can see there was a lot of energy that was, that was pushing her to go for all of this. And she probably seemed like a reasonable choice for whatever reason. And now all of this stuff, if you can look closely, you'll see that all of this stuff here is red. Like seriously, this is red, right? This is all red. Ay. So now, although the 6th, let's get to the 6th now. Let's get to when she really did start up. So you'll see on August 6th, oh my God, guys, I guess this is my video for the day. Because this is, oh man. So I'm watching the basketball, and so, oh man, the Lakers aren't going to win this year. Russell Westbrook will be traded. I'll show you that astrologically. I think he's going to get traded. Actually, to be honest, I didn't actually look to see if he was going to be traded yet, but I know where I'm going to see signs of him being traded in the chart. And I'm going to look, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to see it. So I didn't actually look at Westbrook's chart yet, but I did look at LeBron James's chart and a little bit of Anthony Davis, and those guys have big changes this year, and they have changes very similar in certain ways to Liz Truss. Liz was going through something anyways, based on her date, based on how old she is. That's just the way it is. Other things you might want to go on, like if this aspect was square, although it's not, that would be like something that happens to everybody. So this is something that happens to everybody. But what I'm about to show you right now is not something that happens to everybody. It doesn't happen necessarily that often. Like, it happens to everybody, but not like this. Anyways, whatever. So that's what's going on. LeBron James is going to have a hell of a year. Not just because of certain things that are normal, but just like Liz, he has some extra things happening in his chart. All right, here we go. So what else is going on with Liz? So right here, you can see the North Node is moving back, right? It's doing its thing. Uranus is coming back. So now Uranus is red. When she was elected, all of that was red, guys. All of this is red. All of it's red. Oh my goodness. So if Mercury, except Mercury, but Mercury goes red in a couple of days after this. So if Mercury was red, you would say, if Mercury was retrograde, you'd say, oh, wow, this is never going to work, right, Sonny? I'd be like, yeah, there's no way, man. But that's what's going on. But so although the Mercury isn't retrograde, like everything else is retrograde on the 6th. Not everything, but a lot is. So you can expect that as the days progress of her, as she's prime minister or leader of whatever, you can expect that as these planets resume forward motion, you're going to expect change. She's going to have to adjust because everything will be changing, right? Everything is going to be changing. All of the energy is changing direction. The focus, the emphasis will be on moving forward. When she was installed here on, I don't know what they call it, but when she was made prime minister on September 6th, all of this energy in boxes here, it's moving backwards. It's a very backwards thinking kind of appointment. And as the planets move forward, you're going to see that society in general is going to change their views, not in the grand scheme. This transits happen all the time, but like you're going to see everything is going to shift, and she's going to collapse unexpectedly under the shift. But remember, she just went through a big life change. Now, I don't really know about her. I don't know any kind of thing. She sounds like whatever, but like that's what I'm saying astrologically. And if I was her astrologer, I would be telling her all of this. And so if I was your astrologer, if you're a politician, and I saw this in your chart, I would say, you know what, man, you might need to take a knee on this and come back in the spring, is what I might say if I was your astrologer. Or I would say something like, maybe you should have been appointed in this spring instead of waiting till now when all of this retrograde action is going on. I don't think stuff under all of this retrograde is going to last. I didn't think it was going to last. I don't think it's going to last. Heads up. All right, next. So that's the crazy stuff. Now there's some other things. So we've been focusing on this little area right here, but there is more to it. Right around this time, so on my particular chart, so on a regular astrology chart, it might not be so easy to see what's happening to her. Like when you look at when she was set up, like, is it that obvious? Like you're not going to see any Saturn things, right? Saturn in Aquarius, it's not really squaring anything. It's going to. It's going later on. Saturn in Aquarius is going to square her nodes, and it's going to cause a really, really big problem. But it's not really causing anything on this day. Like on this day, it's okay. She's not going through any Saturn square thing. That's not the worst thing. Saturn's not squaring her sun. Like there's no Saturn problems. All right, so whatever. That's usually the first thing we look at. Second thing I would look at for today, because Mars is spending so much time in Gemini, I would look to see, well, what's going on with his Mars? It's going to be there for a whole bunch of months, and it doesn't usually do that. So what's going to happen here? Mars isn't doing too much on that day, 9 degrees, whatever, So, but something is changing. We do have Pluto and its retrograde, and Pluto is bumping up right against what I have on my charts here. I added a particular midpoint, and the midpoint is for sudden and unexpected things to happen to you. And I've added it because on the sunny side, we look at lottery winners, right? I tell you guys if you're going to win the lottery, or if there's going to be a big change happening in your life, for positive and for negative. These are things you guys ask me, so I added it to the chart here. There are other points, other midpoints on the chart for relationships per se, like let's say, like Chiron Saturn, there might be a problem in relationships, or like, Jupiter Chiron, when you might have some unexpected luck, some really big unexpected luck happening in your chart. And anyways, so that's what's going on. But as you can see, as you can very, very clearly see, so it's not easy to see when we look on the outside, like when we just look at the basic chart here, because what are you going to, Saturn, there's not much going on. Mars, maybe if you were a vibrational astrologer, you would fold up the chart, so to speak, and you can see if you fold up this chart, some of these connections. It's pretty obvious. You can see it right away. But looking at it like this is not that easy. Now, what can you see? You can see Pluto right here, right on top of this midpoint. And so Pluto was here at 26 degrees last year. So something last year was leading to a big change in this chart, guys. This chart says to me something happened to her last year in 2021. In the fall of 2021, something happened to her and it changed her life, whatever it was. And now moving forward, she has to deal with that decision that was made last year. I don't know what's going on in her life. I don't know. I'm in North America. But if I'm looking at her chart, I think something she did last year, she has to take care of. And I think she's kind of serving two masters right now, and one of them had to go. On top of that, all of the views around her are rapidly changing right now. So she didn't really stand a chance with a fixed kind of perspective, which she has. She has a very fixed perspective, right? Taurus energy, Leo energy, very fixed perspective, even though she wants to help, right? That Pisces energy there. Anyway, so right here, I would say that there's something sudden and unexpected is definitely happening to her. And that's happening right here. This part of her chart, this midpoint up here is passing the Chiron, right? Chiron is some kind of wound that's happening. So something is going on with her. Maybe she's sick and not telling anybody. I don't know. Maybe she's sick and not telling anybody. Or maybe there's something else is just pulling her attention away. She has everything. When she was made prime minister, she has everything in her chart that says she's going to be very popular. Expect the unexpected. But as things moved on, and now in today, when we get to the, check it out. So when we finally get to today, you'll see these points are back and they're highlighted. You'll see that it's back. It's right here. And you can't not really check it out. So check this out. So they become more exact. And you guys know, I'm not saying anything like, oh, she has this in the chart, so this might have happened, or she has this, so this might have happened. I've showed you guys about 5 or 6 different dates right now. So, and I'm showing you when it's going to happen. So here's the 20th. All right. On the 20th, so this is a phase, right? So here we go. So as I mentioned earlier, this guy's not red anymore. This guy's black, right? See, that's red over there. This is black. And now this means he's moving in this direction. And so that's one of the changes that's happening. Big, big change. Now, during all of that stuff we were talking about, Mercury down here during that time period went back and forth here in a retrograde fashion. So she was elected with clear thought, or she was made prime minister with sober thoughts. Mercury was direct. And then the first 3-4 weeks of her thing, of her as prime minister, there was probably a lot of confusion as Mercury was retrograde as well. Neither here nor there, but Pluto's gone direct. So, thoughts are going to, return to normal. Whatever normal is, thoughts are going to return to them. Next, Saturn is going to move forward. Jupiter is going to move forward. Mars is going to go retrograde. It's going to be around there. So that's just what's going on, guys. And then eventually Uranus is going to go forward. But as you can see in this particular chart, all right, so I'm explaining to you guys that the energy was shifting. So I didn't think she was going to last anyways. But in addition, on the day, the 20th, check it out. So we have this sudden and unexpected activity happening at 26 degrees. Over here, that's affecting her midpoint. Another midpoint I have at 26 degrees. All right, whatever. Oh, you're the best astrologer ever, Sonny. I know, man. No, just whatever. All right, now over here, just like earlier on in the video, I showed you a chart. You can see, and this is red right here. That's 17 degrees Uranus has come back to mess up her Mars again. Like right now, sudden and unexpected actions. She, on the inside, Mars, is doing this, sudden and unexpected Uranus. So that's what's going on. So that's what's going on. that's what's going on. So everything else is kind of moving on. Now, there is some tricky stuff. So when I went, look, like there is a little bit more. I mean, Jupiter, right? I mean, Jupiter is okay. She's actually was really lucky recently, right? Jupiter was over here, was really lucky. This is Jupiter right here. See how Jupiter is red? It's moving in that direction. Jupiter was, see, it's at 0 right now. It's at 0. It was at number 2. And at 2, it was making a really nice aspect here. Like she was looking good. She might have had mental banana ideas, mental banana this, that, or it didn't work. But I think her action was, I don't know anything about politics, especially in the UK, but like, from a celebrity perspective, because from a celebrity perspective, she had popularity and written all over her chart with this particular time period. But I do believe I do believe something happened to her last year. I believe that. Go check it up, Google. Go check it up, the tabloids, whatever. Something happened last year. Maybe she got sick. Maybe there was a death in her family. Maybe one of her mothers or something died or something. But I think last year something happened and she's dealing with it this year. It's unexpected and I think it's taking her energy away. And that's what I think is going on. In addition to all of that, I think very much she has to watch her health. Very, very much, without any joke, watch her health. And maybe she has marriage problems right now with Saturn retrograde right here. Like Leos are having relationship problems, right? So maybe she's going through some relationship I don't know. But I would say something maybe she was sick, maybe there's a relationship problem, maybe someone passed away, but something is taking her attention away. I do believe that in the spring, she's going to be very popular again. When everything moves forward, she's going to be popular again, but she's not going to have the blessing of the North Node. She's not going to have the blessing of the North Node anywhere. And she's not going to have the blessing of Mars, not going to have the blessing of the North Node. It's just going to be sudden and unexpected, which is happening. And Jupiter is way over here in Aries. And although that looks like it's the top of her chart, it's not really. It's actually way over here. And so she might end up traveling a lot, or she might go back to school to teach or something. And that's the deal. That's Liz Truss. Oh my God, that was like half an hour. Oh my God, these videos will take forever, man. No, I didn't even read her tarot cards on what's going on. Okay, let's finish it up. Oh my God. Share the video. Share the video. Share the video. Share the video. Oh man. All right, let's just read a couple of her tarot cards and let's just move on from that. Okay. Anyways, so I do teach astrology, and it's the reason I do astrology like this. Usually when there's someone in the news, we're going to know what we already know what we're, what I'm going to see in the chart more than likely before we begin. Just like that basketball stuff with Russell Westbrook. I know what to look for. I know I'm going to, when I go to look at his chart for the Lakers, I'll probably see signs of him being traded later on in the year. I think I'll see that. I already saw something in LeBron's chart. Wow, this popped out. Oh man, the world popped out. Oh my God, she's getting her karma. Oh, this is a beautiful card. The world popped out. She's getting her karma. All right. Yeah, and like the LeBron situation, LeBron looks like he might have a major injury this year. Major injury. This is going to be one of the most difficult years in LeBron's life this year. Then we go to the Brooklyn. I was looking at Brooklyn a little bit. They have a T-square between their big three. Like one guy's a Libra, one's an Aries, and one's a Cancer. That ain't going to work. So, good luck, Brooklyn. All right, let's get it. Whatever. Let's go see what's going on with Liz. Oh, my God. Oh, man. In YouTube world, we call this video a channel killer. It's like way too long, way too boring. And I don't really think I did anything in it. Okay, next. Here we go. Liz, first up. 5 of Wands. All right, 5 of Wands. This is a lot of people running around, a lot of people busy, so to speak. The 5 comes from the 4. Okay, so the 5 is fixed fire energy. Hold on, guys. I'm just pulling it up for you. I guess Wands would be W, right? So here we go. 5 of Wands, guys. So the 5 of Wands means everybody's kind of running around. Like the 3 of Wands is let's get on with things. The 5 of Wands is Leo energy, believe it or not. The 5 of Wands is the first decan of Leo. It's 2, 3, 4 of Wands is Aries, and then 5, 6, 7 of Wands is Leo. This is Leo energy. I guess I'm sitting in front of it. Okay, whatever, man. So it does mean like 4 of Wands is getting on with things. And the 5 of Wands is everybody running around doing their thing. And so that's what's going on. So everybody's running around doing their thing. And then we have the 6 of Swords reversed. This is an interesting one. The 6 of Swords tends to mean leaving the situation. You'll see that in this particular illustration of the card, she's leaving, right? She's crossing the river. She's taking off. Now, the deal is it's trying not to rock the boat on your way out. But here's the funny thing about this particular card. This card is reversed. So oftentimes, so I'm an astrologer, right? I'm a psychic astrologer. Oh, for those who don't know, we play psychic games on the channel at nighttime. It's really fun. All right. So, or we guess these tarot cards. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so right here, the 6 of Swords. So it kind of goes back a little bit. There's a big argument that was happening. And this argument, so Liz apparently wants to leave, right? The 6 of Swords wants to leave. The 5 of Wands, everybody's arguing. Everybody's doing their thing independently. 6 of Swords wants to leave, but it's reversed. So it's holding her back, or she's not leaving on her terms. Guys got that? Something is going on, whether it's up front or in the background, I don't know. But she's not leaving on her terms. She's trying very hard not to rock the boat on the way out. So she's holding something back, whether something is going on with her personally or something is happening within the party or something, whatever. She's not leaving on her terms. She's holding something back. Then we have the King of Cups. So, you know, it might be an emotional situation. It might be someone going like, hey, man, what's good? You know, the King of Cups is supposed to be someone who's in charge, you know, someone who's in charge of emotions, you know, someone who takes care of things, someone that you can really lean upon, almost like a father figure, so to speak, but you're like a father figure, you know, someone who's going to take care of your emotions. And I think she was called upon, or she's being called upon, where she has to get out there and be emotionally responsible for people. But I think in this situation, she is being emotionally responsible. She is being the bigger person, but she definitely wants to leave. Next, the 2 of Swords reversed. So she has some decisions that she has to make. This is very clearly Libra energy. And the 2 of Swords indicates, so the 2 of Swords is making a decision, right? The swords are ideas, and you have 2 of them, right? The 2 competing ideas. This card, usually she's often, but not always, wearing often, but not always wearing a blindfold or a hoodwink in this particular card. It's to leave the emotions out of it. And that's what's going on. So Liz has some decisions that she has to make, and she has to like non-emotional. Oh, then temperance is up. So temperance is making things work. So this is like making things work, you know, to finding middle ground. So I think something is going on in this situation with her where there's a lot of fighting going on behind the scenes. She's being pulled in many directions. She wants to leave, right? The Six of Swords, she wants to leave anyways, but she can't, you know, she can't leave, or she can't do what she wants to do. She's probably spending too much of her time doing the King of Cups, which is babying people. And then she's going to have to find, you know, she's going to have to make her decision, which is the Two of Swords. And she doesn't want to make a decision, or she doesn't have all the information necessary to make a real decision. But, and her decision, you know, but she's going to make it. And then, or she's made it already, right? And then we have temperance, which is making things work, right? Bending all the cards, bending all the pieces together to make them work, or sorting it out, right? You see the water and the fire. She's supposed to blend it together to make something new. Actually, looking at this, it kind of looks as if like this is the type of reading you might get if, say, you might want to start a new political party, so to speak, right? There's a lot of fighting going on in the background. You kind of want to leave your ideas, you know, take your ideas with you, but you can't. A lot of nurturing, some, you know, more ideas. Can't really put, Liz can't put her ideas into play here. And so temperance is saying she has to kind of balance it out a little bit. And then we finally have the Page of Pentacles, which is absolutely effing hilarious, because the Page of Pentacles reversed should mean, you know, in certain situations, it's going to lead to very poor and definitely naive, childish money decisions. There we go. Actually, it's really funny. Didn't she have a budget, and the budget was all silly? This is very clearly irresponsible with money. So whatever, forget about that political party stuff I just said. This is Page of Pentacles reversed, completely irresponsible with money. Good luck. So anyways, that's her card reading, guys. I wish her the absolute best. This is Liz's mini reading. So just to let you guys know, the mini astrology part of the reading, it's usually $35 or $45 here, live on the channel at night. Right, personal readings are $235, right? And the tarot readings are usually pretty cheap when I do them live at night, if you guys are interested in any of that kind of stuff. There you go. All right, enough politics for me. The sunny side is about a lot. All right, guys. I can't imagine that anybody except Sue made it to the end of this video. But if you did, I'm going to give you a thumbs up. Way to go, guys. And you know, oh man, I can't actually subscribe to you, but I can salute you. What up? I hope you guys had an amazing day. That's Liz's thing here. She looks like, I don't know, like her chart, like her chart is not that amazing. Like she has a fairly kind of normal chart. I don't see as much damage per se in the chart as well. Like it's not that exact. She doesn't have, like she has an interesting chart, but I do think she's going through some regular transits, regular life stuff, in addition to some absolutely inconsistent, unexpected stuff is happening to her right now, and she is reacting in an inconsistent and unexpected way. Now, here's something that you guys might be interested in, just as one last little thing here. I'll show you guys one more before I go. Welcome to the sunny side. This is the stuff why you guys want to study with me. Here we go. I'm not going to tell you the date because I got to pull the date up here. But when we have this here, there's a strong possibility that in the spring, say around March, you know, right around March, let's say, or okay, I'll give you the date because it's a little bit more fun like that. Right around, you guys are going to find, I'll tell you right now, because this is some of the stuff we do on the sunny side here. So I'm going to show you guys some of the stuff we do. So right around the second week of January, or the first or second week of January, she's going to be really, really lucky. Like right around January 7th, the second week of January, she's going to be really, really lucky to the point where she could possibly, seriously, she could possibly win the lottery right around that time period. But there are some other unexpected things happening to her. Actually, right around this January, second week of January, she could win the lottery. And right around, oh man, she's really lucky. Oh, that's all retrograde, right? So watch out. If I push it forward, I also think second week of January, man, this luck transit moves slow. And the third week of January, right around here. Oh man, right around the second and third week of January, she is so lucky. She could totally win the lottery, or something really good and unexpected is going to happen to her at that time period. All right, that's my 2 cents, man. Share the video. Tell Liz, good luck. I wish everyone the best. Thanks for tuning into the Sunny Side, and I hope everyone has a super amazing day. Stay tuned. Tune in later when I predict who's going to basketball stuff. I was going to do football stuff, but I got tied up this year. All right, wishing everyone the best, and I'll see you guys soon.